Staff, happy Friday morning. This is kind of a long document, so I wanted to give a short video to hopefully explain it. I wanted to outline our philosophy and kind of the overview for summer learning. Um, you'll see on here the goals. When I scroll down, you'll see kind of the four main points, what we're going to have. And it will be access to books. So we're going to do that with our kindergarten book bags, which thankfully for our PPC we're able to provide, and our open library time at Pinewood. Um, Connected a community of readers, so trying to give students a chance to connect and be social about what they're reading over the summer. Goal setting with students because we know how important that is, and then celebrating that growth. So, some of the things that we need to do to maybe make these four facets happen are first preparing our students, and this is going to be the main part that we need to really look at between now and the end of the school year. Um, and when we're looking at this, one of the big things that I found when I was doing that research is um, that even just 3 lessons specifically geared towards how to help students do summer reading, looking at the stamina aspect, the perseverance, and the comprehension, makes a huge difference with their achievement. So if we take a few lessons, whether it's 3 right before they go to summer break, or whether you do a few mini lessons between now and then, and specifically focus on that, it's going to make a huge impact for our kiddos. Scrolling down here, making sure that students have voice and choice in their recommendation of their books. Um, I loved having those book recommendations on the Pinewood blog last summer, and I really want to do it again this summer. So again, that's something that we have to do before the end of the year. If you can just help your students do that, or not everybody, but if some people could get some of those books recommendations, I think the kids love to see them, and it brings parents to the Pinewood blog during the summer. Uh, I've got a folder right here. If once your kids start doing it, if you can submit it there, that would be helpful. Looking at summer learning goals, we're going to treat these the same way we do our year-long learning goals. I didn't make a template or a sheet. I'm not very good at doing that, but if somebody has one, we can link it here. And I thought it would be nice to kind of separate it between upper L and lower L. But the goal can just be a process goal with I'm going to commit to this many minutes of reading each day, or this many pages, or it can be like a end of the year goal, like I want to get to this many books. But I want to help the students kind of set those goals before summer starts. The social interaction part was that was new that I hadn't known before I started looking into this research. Uh, and that is huge to be able to have students have a chance to be able to talk and collaborate about what they're reading. So I'm very happy we can have our library program happening on Tuesdays this summer. Here are some other things so that you can do with your class if you want to, that could be more blended. You could use Seesaw, you could use Biblionasium. If your students have their own blogs, they could do blogs. But these are all ways that you can kind of have them connect socially. And the research shows that that makes a difference. If they know that they have to talk to people about it, or have the opportunity to talk to people about it, that's going to really make that reading more impactful for them. When we look down here, how can we communicate with families? I'm hopeful that I can take a lot of that off from your plate with the blog. Um, and then I've kind of made a document down here, which I'll show you. I don't really like it yet. I've got to kind of keep tweaking it, but at least it's a start. And then that way it's the same for all of our families, and it's not something extra that you guys have to put together. Um, when we look down here, that Pinewood blog, when I'm doing that each week this summer, I'm going to do the student book recommendations, but I'm also going to take a Every Child's a Super Reader book, and that outlines 7 strengths of children who are super readers. And each week I'm going to focus on a strength. So I'm hopeful that that will kind of help our parent community be able to break that book up and just focus on that one strength and see why it's so important in their reading, and that they'll come and read that, and then also that they'll be looking for the student book recommendations. So that's my plan for the blog this summer. And then as we get closer to school, I do all the back to school stuff that's helpful for parents. If there's other things that you believe need to be in there, just let me know. When you keep scrolling on this document, this is the stuff that I think is going to be important in that document for parents. And as you can see, I got linked here. the document that I put together for parents. But again, this one, I feel like it's wordy and I need to break it down a little bit. So, why do we have to do our summer reading? So, giving the parents the why, talking about summer slide or summer reading loss, and just letting them know that as little as 15 hours over the length of the summer is going to make a huge difference for them. Um, a nice quote there. What can you do to support your child? So, kind of setting it up for them. In the easy steps, having them have expectations, having them have access to helping them, their child get access to books, reading the blog and kind of keeping up with it. It gives the parents information about the library summer reading hours, and it gives them some digital. I didn't do a ton on the digital because I feel like that's overwhelming to them, but I did the ones that I think were big. Discovery Education has a worldwide summer adventure, and it has tons of informational text and resources with a huge variety for kids. Tumble Books, which we know is great, the National Geographics, Front Row for math, and Prodigy for math. And then I ask parents to follow the blog. So I know this is really wordy. Oh, and then the tracking sheet. All the kids will get the JPS tracking sheet that Jan Saley put together from the Media Center. Um, and this, I really think we've got to be flexible with the families. Some families will want to write down every second their kid reads, and some families will want to just um, send us an email. Some will be using the Georgetown Library's tracking sheet. Some will be using Barnes and Noble. Some kids will, write down 5 books on there, even though they've read 20. So we want them to have something to demonstrate that they've done that 15 hours of reading or the number of books. And this sheet is a great, easy way, and it's a common way. But if there's some families that need it tweaked a little bit, I think we need to be flexible with that. So I know that this document for parents is big. I'm looking to kind of reduce it, but I wanted to kind of have all those aspects on it. And everything is kind of outlined here for the whys and the what. So we're going to talk about this at data review, but I kind of wanted to get it out to everybody so you could see it and kind of go through it. And then once we get to data review, as we're digging deeper into it, if you have questions, then we can talk about it. Thanks, everybody.